Hello everybody, Vangaris here, and welcome back to more Doom, The Dark Ages, Revelations. I thought about going back up there since we now have the shield again. And I wanted to look around a little bit since we can activate things with the shield now. We've got lots we can do now that we've got our old tool back. So I want to look around and interact with some stuff. Gee, I wonder what the combination is. Oh. Is that really it? I did a combination to go to a place I've already been? That's just lame. I want to make sure there aren't any, like, secret combinations hidden on another one of these pillars. There are things everywhere. So, let's see. 11x11. Oh yeah, we can go in there now. Okay, that did something. Kind of neat that I can leave my shield working while doing something else. This has actually been pretty fun, going through like this bit, now that I've actually got the tools to figure shit out. Alright, now how do I get back there? Let's see, that's XX11. Ah, shit, didn't mean to do that. Uh-huh. So I can break shit to knock things down. I don't get a dash when I'm using the shield. Now, what are you? Hey, nice. Okay, we're starting to piece things together here. I still can't swim down there for some reason. I just don't get it. I guess at some point we lower the water, because there's like stuff underwater that I can't do when I'm underwater. It leads me to believe there are other purposes that we will find out much later. Okay, so each one of these does a specific type, and then does all. See, that armor bonus sounds cool. I think we'll work towards that. Ah, yeah, I figured the price would go up as we went. Alright, I really want to get down to that, just to see if I can unlock it just straight up with money, or if I need to do like a challenge or something. This isn't even on the map, so I'm curious where this is. Actually, wait, can I go back this way? Hmm. Anyway, let's keep looking around. Hey! Nice. We can actually use that. Oh, we got more things to unlock. Is there a device over here somewhere? Okay, there are different codes over here. So I'm gonna have to go back to that other machine and hit them. I imagine you come down here. No, you're over there. Okay. Maybe it goes wherever I'm not. You know, it's one of those things where the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of enjoying the fact that they let you use the spear or the shield in combat. I don't like the fact that they nerfed the shield, like, off the bat. I don't really understand why they would do that instead of just making the spear, like, you know, like the spear is obviously a different build option. You know, it's meant for fast, aggressive play, whereas the shield is the more slower, like, Dark Ages sort of play style. But yeah, I'm starting to understand it. It's starting to help my brain. So, all right, 11x triangle. But yeah, I'm starting to sort of get the I'm starting to understand the idea of why they would use a spear for certain things and a shield for other things. You know, kind of give players options. All right, I think it was it 11x triangle? Was that what I said? I need to write this shit down. Actually, I wonder if I could hit a random combination if I just try shit. I did 11x triangle. Where was that other one that I saw? There was another code I saw somewhere. Let's see, was it over here? Oh yeah, I haven't. Oh, sorry. Have not explored down here yet. Defeat the astral boss. Okay. So there will be some super duper uber secret boss at some point. Can I really not go back through there? Can I really not do that? So I just can't unlock that? How do I unlock these? I'm not quite sure how that works. I'm kind of bummed out. I wanted to go back to the first, like, section that we were at. I'm really annoyed by that. Like, I want to go back to that other level. I don't have any, like, mission select options, so, like, I have to do whatever's there at any given time. I don't really have a choice. At least it's not as far as the game is explained to me. Okay, so this is gonna be one of those fun little puzzles of let's aim our body and just chuck us somewhere. Is that too far that way? No, it looks about right. Whee! I'm not sure how you're supposed to get over there. Maybe you end the level and come back through that way. I don't know. I don't know if I was supposed to do it like that. That seems kind of cheeky. Maybe I'm wrong, but that just doesn't seem proper. Like I feel like there's something else you're supposed to do there. Need a blue Eldritch Key.
A labyrinth to test the mind and will. What you seek lies within.
Oh, come on, they didn't put anything around the corners? Why not? I don't know why my voice is cracking so much today. Apparently I'm having a Shaggy moment. No! Like Zoink Scoob, we're in another dimension! That is one hell of a jump. Hey, long time no see, Pain Elemental. I like your little hat face thing. Sometimes I'm just confused. It's like, aren't certain weapons supposed to be better against certain enemies? Or not? I'm starting to wonder if I'm ever going to have the capacity to come back to these levels. Because I couldn't go back to the earlier one when I have the shield now. And I know there are shield portions of that level. There's a lot of random, weird, restrictive shit, and I'm not a fan of that. I feel like you're supposed to go through this DLC one time, and then you come back through and do a whole bunch of other shit again. Because there's a lot of shit locked off on your first run. Which is kind of antithetical to what happens a lot of the time in this series. Alright, I'm assuming these pathways, like, will unlock these things after we go places. I hope so, anyway. You know, the weird thing about all this is I'm just starting to assume that I can't do anything in some levels, and so I kind of just want to move on, which kind of feels bad. You know? It's like, shouldn't you want to do the stuff in the level? Like, now? Like, I'm just starting to, like, give up on doing some things just because everything's locked off until we come back later. Can I go back? Yep. What the fuck? I guess that's what I'm supposed to do? Oh, man. Whoever designed the arc build to teleport around the arena every 3 fucking seconds, I hate you. I hate you with a passion. Bruh. Basic climbing mechanic failure. What the fuck? Okay, now it worked. When do I unlock these last things? Like, what? Why is everything in this DLC so restricted? Like, I don't understand why some of this shit is so locked off. Like, it seems like this game in general is like way more restrictive than the previous two games were in terms of like progression and finding shit. That's kind of annoying. I guess I'm just not going to be able to get up there unless we come back here. It says it's the end of the level, and I don't know how to unlock that, so I guess just fuck it. I mean, I assume we come back through the campaign again, because I don't understand why there'd be so many things you can interact with if you can't interact with them in that level because of the pacing, you know?
An iron will to reveal the shadow within. Sound mind to claim it.
Is the site empty?
Command says yes. The bunker's underneath. We've got a green light from Central.
I really hope we don't have Doom Guy, like, accidentally kill a kid or something stupid like that. I would much rather he just fails to save somebody due to not being strong enough than him accidentally doing something stupid. Because I saw a clip, I saw like that little brief little bit earlier where you've got like, it looks like a little kid. And I hope they don't do something stupid with that in the story. Is this old section supposed to build off of the original Doom games? Because I'm pretty sure the Doom Marine used to be like a soldier, so I don't know. I don't know where this is going.
Death awaits. Two stones found. One remains.
I mean, this is one thing I will give this DLC is the transitions between levels are almost seamless. Like, this is one thing, like, if you weren't like a gamer, you would not notice that the levels are changing. It would just feel like one long, continuous sort of streak. Which I think is pretty good. It shows that, like, they're working on, like, optimization of things. It does make me wonder, like, why the Dark Ages wasn't the same. Like, the Dark Ages is very clearly separated by levels. And I'm kind of wondering why the DLC isn't. Like, it feels odd to me, like, that you would have one without the other in the same game. Maybe they just figured out how to do it technically, you know? I don't know. It's strange to me, the inconsistencies between the DLC of this game and the base game. There feels like a very weird... It feels like the DLC is sort of a response to some of the criticisms some people had towards the base game of being a little slow. That's sort of how I view it, right? It feels like the DLC is responding to that criticism, but because it's responding in a particular way, it's creating an inconsistent experience between the base game and, like, this DLC. Like, it feels like the DLC was made with a different vision than the base game. The more I play it, the more it's coming across that way. But, yeah. Anyway, I need to take a quick break, but I will be right back. You will see a jump cut, because I love you viewers, and I don't want you to sit here for like an hour while I do my morning routine. So, BRB. Alright. Let's get stuck in, I guess. Unless... We'll see what happens. I don't know how long this DLC is in terms of, like, goals, right? Like, we're getting 3 stones, but I don't really get what we're going to do afterwards, if we do anything afterwards. You know what I mean?
Is the ruin of all mortal flesh. Conquer death. Know your pain.
Yeah, This isn't new. Big Hell Desert. Man, I really want to give up on using the spear. I am just not good at it. And just... I don't like the way it changes the flow of the game. Oh, I'm supposed to get it around. Okay. I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Okay, I think that's how that's supposed to go. Is you find a long opening after upgrading shit. Maybe that's how it's supposed to work.
With righteous heart, iron will, and the might to conquer death, a path is forged.
Clear the area.
Evac inbound. Good work.
Ah, man. I kind of figured they were going to do something like that. And it's just kind of lame, in my opinion. It's one of those stupid things, too, where it's like, it's not even like Taggart's fault. Like, it's not even Doomguy's fault for that, because Command said it was clear, right? So it's like, it's one of those things where your own story is fighting against the guilt angle that you're going for. It's just like, really... Oy vey! Yeah, I don't care about all that.
A master of this inner kingdom you have become. Its doors for you now open.
Do we actually get to meet the guy this time?
Look into the eyes of the fallen. Their final reckoning. A fracture in your prison.
Oh, that's King Novik.
We can't leave him there.
With the Slayer gone, have you not found peace? The demons, they have retreated. Their war is with him.
I've heard enough.
If we leave him, there could be more than just peace. Prosperity. I have been assured. Think of your people.
So I guess he was killed by a Marok or whatever his name is. Oh, he's here. Okay. Is it final boss time? How am I supposed to fucking dodge this game? The fuck are you doing?
Look at him. He is the brave son of your ally.
What the fuck?
The Sentinel's time has ended this war.
Jesus fucking Christ, game.
In time, all of Argentina return to me for salvation. Evolution, Marek. We are evolving, unifying our worlds to live in peace. Novik died so we could live. I will honor his selfless act. He knew. He knew the Slayer was responsible for his death. And you saw it. He comes now for you. He brings the Horde. He'll leave us in ashes. Out of the ashes of your defeat, a new world is forming. With Azric's Slate, The Council accepted my terms. Now begins the age of ascension. The demon's essence is a powerful resource. A gift you brought us long ago.
God fucking damn it. I am not liking this DLC.
Out of the ashes of your defeat, a new world is forming. With Azric slain, the Council accepted my terms. Now begins the age of ascension. Useless.
Is this going to be one of those things where the con maker kills him and she blames the demons for it, and then that gets Valen to betray the Sentinels? Like, is it going to be one of those things where she masterminded the whole thing? Which, in turn, is sort of part of the Dark Lord's plan the whole time. I wonder. Oh, we actually get to see you now? Hey there. stock child sound effect. I swear, I think I've heard that in like 15 other games. So is this like the end of the DLC? Like the story side of it? The final mission awaits, okay. At least they gave us a heads up. Is this where they make the Praetor suit? Like the actual one? You know, I bet being a spider, like blacksmith, would actually be pretty handy. He figures I don't try to get a drink during a cool cutscene and fucking throw shit everywhere. Alright, well. Damn it.
The soul realized through pain. This suit, now your key. With a righteous heart.
Why did that one come back?
Slayer is here. Notify the clan immediately.
Very long walk to very long walk up to the final like section here. My big thing is like, why do they have so many like big areas, but then there's like, it's like there's nothing in them. Like, do we come back and do shit later? I mean, like, actually, this is probably a good point to rant while I'm walking around looking for shit. It's like, this DLC feels very padded, all things considered. Like, it feels like they really thought of everything they could have to stretch out the campaign via areas being locked until you complete it, sort of a thing. And that just feels really kind of shitty to, like, pad this out and have, like, half the content be locked off after you complete the story. That just feels really weird to me. Because, I mean, this said this was the final mission, and there was, like, half the shit in the previous, like, 3 levels we couldn't get to, which is just annoying, you know? So it's just... I've got very mixed feelings on this DLC, and this is probably... So far, in my Doom sort of arc, this is a low point. I have had significant issues with this DLC in particular compared to the Dark Ages, compared to Doom Eternal's DLC, compared to Doom Eternal, compared to 2016. I am having significant issues with this. We'll see if it changes later on, but we'll see how that goes.
Seize him.
Thera.
All squads, execute Plan Ash.
Everyone out! Now!
Slayer, the Khan is trying to escape to the courtyard.
sighted in all sectors.
Why did my HUD change? Is that because of the suit change? Like we went back to the normal thing? I guess that's a nice touch. I'm kind of like, what? I'm like mildly confused by some of the changes in the game.
This facility is under attack. Please vacate the area.
Still can't unlock those. Stuck! Fucking shit. Oh, that was a leader. I didn't even know. I was like, why the fuck is this guy taking so much damage? And I was like, oh, I guess they didn't mark him as a leader until right there. Wait a minute, dodging destroys them? Hold on. Hold on a minute. I gotta check this. Why does dodging destroy the imps? That's fucking stupid. Why does dodging the imps cause them to blow up? I didn't even attack them. What was that? That's just dumb. At least let me shoot them.
This facility is under attack. Please vacate the area.
Escort teams, route survivors to checkpoint 2.
Civilians are almost out. Hold the line until Valen confirms.
What did destroying that thing do? Ah, okay.
Your father's kingdom is broken, and your cities burn. Hell cannot be defeated, but it can be controlled. And I will be its new master. This world has known only suffering. I offer you this one chance of salvation. He would rather destroy this world than share it with his enemies. Then let this primitive realm die with you.
Aha, it's this guy. Now we meet for a rematch, fucker.
forged in pain, his will now whole.
The time for politics is over. Reject the Makers and their ways, now and forever. It is by blood we will survive. Now stand behind your courage. Stand behind him. Our war begins now.
So, does... Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Okay, I can now access master key areas. Wonderful. Okay, I got a rant coming in because I got a rant. I got a rant. Whoop-de-doo, new skin. Alright, so... master areas. Unlock new levels of power with Chain Spear, but experience new challenges that will provide rewards. I can now re-enter mission portals. Okay. Message from the architect. Okay, well, so the ranting I need to get in place here. Wait a minute. Why do it... Okay, that's stuff I gotta work out later. Okay, so I have to rant about this because the campaign story is over, right? I got an achievement for it. This doesn't line up with what happened in the other games. Like, as far as I can remember from all the lore in 2016 and Eternal, there is no mention of an uprising that caused the Khan to, like, go against the Slayer specifically. They reference, like, a civil war happened, but they also reference the Khan, like, getting the Slayer and other Sentinels to go into the Hell Dimensions. And then that leads to the betrayal where Valen becomes the betrayer to try to save his son's soul, but he doesn't. So he like betrays the Sentinels, and the Sentinels, including Doomguy, are locked in Hell in split like sections of it. They're split up, they're divided, and then they're effectively conquered by Hell when they try to attack it. Right? That is how the story goes in the prior two games. This doesn't line up with that at fucking all. Like, how, like, what the fuck? Like, did they forget the history that they made in 2016 and in 2020? Like, did they forget what they fucking wrote? This does not line up with that shit at all. I mean, that's just fucking lame. It's like, I mean, what this DLC probably should have done is they probably should have... Now, I have a feeling that they did this just so they could make another game at some point, because they could probably try to finagle their way into having it line up with the precursor events for 2016 Doom, which is the Night Sentinels invade Hell, they get betrayed by one of their own, and then they get trapped in Hell and effectively annihilated, right? They could still technically do that in like a future game or some shit, but as it stands right now, the lore they set up doesn't line up with the events of this fucking story. Which is a problem. And it annoys me. And like, they have to do some serious recontextualization to make it make sense with the prior two games. But that's something we're going to have to get into another time. The campaign is technically over, but I would like to go back through the areas and find shit again. But okay, I want to see what this is. Like, what is this? Do we get all of our shield stuff back now? Okay, now we're back to full power. Okay. Yay, we got it back. All right, now we're at absolute full, well, restored previous game power. Assemble the astral boss key. Yeah, see, this is sort of like another thing. It's like we've got another boss to fight, but it's locked behind a shit ton of stuff we got to collect. But I'm going to pick this... so the story's basically over as far as I know. This is just extra shit if you want to do it. And I do plan to do it. And I do plan to go through it in the next recording. But in terms of like the story stuff, I might... in terms of the story of this DLC, I don't see how this can gel with what was previously established in the other games. I legitimately don't. Like, and like, now granted, I've not been reading like lore books and shit like throughout the game, but the basic fundamental story does not gel at all. And that's the thing I don't get. Like, I don't understand if they're trying to set up that there's going to be a fourth Doom game that's going to take place between this game and 2016's events, and it's going to feature the fall of the Night Sentinels in earnest. I don't know if they're going to do that. They could do that, and that could be interesting, that could be fun. But as the story stands right now, there are just details in the fine print with the previous game's sort of like lore entries about the Khan Maker's role in manipulating like the Sentinel priests to lead the Sentinels into Hell. There are little details in that where it is heavily implied that the Khan Maker is in good standing with the Sentinels when she betrays them. This is an outright betrayal directly to their leader's face. Like, and that's the part that doesn't gel, right? So I'm just sitting here wondering if they're gonna release another, like, if they're gonna release another game, and it's gonna be a sequel to this, but a prequel to 2016, essentially. And I wonder if they're actually ever going to close the loop. Like, I legitimately wonder if they're ever going to actually close the loop. Because 2016 was a really good, isolated experience. Eternal built off of that tremendously, and then capped it off with the Ancient Gods Part 1 and 2, which effectively ended the story of Doomguy, right? That's the end, right? He completes his task, right? You know, he ripped and teared until it was done. Like, that was the point where the story ended, like, definitively. This is a prequel to both of those games, and, like, unless we want to go more into the cosmic realm, which they totally could, you know, just for extra content, there's only so much you can do before you're clearly milking the series. You know, some people say that Dark Ages is clearly milking it. I don't personally think so, but I can see where you're coming from. But anyway, getting back to the main sort of like point of this. The story of this DLC is very muddled in what is considered canon based on what the other games set up. And therein lies the problem, I think, because I'm not quite sure what they expect us to take away from this game other than, like, the Khan Maker made a blunt betrayal, not a subtle manipulation. Now technically the Khan Maker could go back and manipulate the Hell Priests specifically, or not the Hell Priests. She could go and manipulate the Sentinel Priests, which would lead the Sentinel Priests to go do bad shit, which could set up the Night Sentinels entering Hell and then getting trapped like the original stories went. But it doesn't gel with a lot of the finer details that mention the Khan Maker was on good terms with them. Like, they were faithful to the Khan Maker, right? And they also built tons and tons of machines with the Khan Maker that made their society prosper and her society prosper for several, like, a long stretch of time, right? Like, there's details in this that don't line up with the previous shit. And I know I've repeated that over and over, but it's a fundamental problem with storytelling where you have to keep track of what you fucking said. Because when you make a prequel that doesn't line up with it, you've created problems for yourself that you now have to write yourself out of, or you have to outright decanonize what came before, right? Neither of those options are good, you know. But anyway, this is going to be the end of this, so we'll... oh, what the hell? Okay, so I guess there's like 3 encounters in each of these sort of sections that are like unique. But anyway, I will pick this up in another recording. We'll see what happens. We'll see how far we get. I really hope I don't have to replay the entirety of the level in terms of like fighting enemies again. Probably gonna have to. Which would be kind of annoying because it'll be just a repeat of what we did before, but just now we... Again, this is where the DLC really pads its numbers, right? Because I think I beat this DLC in like 5 hours, right? Main story, 5 hours, collected as many secrets as I could before I unlocked the endgame shit, right? If the endgame shit is gonna double the playtime, that's just because they locked off areas off to the side until after you beat the main campaign of the DLC, which is just a time waster. You're basically forcing players to go through your game twice, which is just fucking stupid, okay? Like, none of the other Doom games had it where you had to go through a level twice over to get everything. You could get everything in a single run, right? You might miss things because you don't know where stuff is, but if you paid attention and tried your best, you could do it. This is just outright blocking players off and doubling the size of your game arbitrarily. And that's something I will never stop criticizing about this. As of right now, which is probably a little early to give final thoughts on the DLC just because I haven't technically completed it yet, but as it stands right now, this is a low point in the series. As I mentioned way earlier in the video, this is a low point because there's a lot of switching up of mechanics in the DLC from the base game that causes a weird janky effect when you try to go from a very defensive shield to a very aggressive spear, and your playstyle has to completely change because of that shit. And then you have to deal with being thrown for a loop where you get downgraded just to re-upgrade for no real reason. Like, we didn't have to have our ammo and health and armor reduced the way it was. We could have just left that shit alone. You know? We didn't need to have our ammo reduced, you know, just because. We didn't need that shit. Right? And I understand that, like, part of the story is Doom Guy gets beaten down and then he gets back up and comes back stronger than ever, right? But mechanically, you don't have to make that a problem for the player, though, by you know, reducing health, reducing ammo, reducing armor, you know, and weakening the... You don't have to weaken us so hardcore mechanically to fit the story, because it feels like we're just retreading old ground when we have to re-upgrade that stuff again or re-unlock it again. Right? I am a fan of just taking what you did and then amping it up even more. Right? Very simple. Right? Just keep the health going up, keep the armor going up, keep the ammo going up. Just keep, like, upgrade everything. Right? You don't have to downgrade just to re-upgrade again. Like, it's sort of an arbitrary weakening of the player just to restart the upgrade process. Right? And it's lazy. And this DLC feels very lazy in terms of stretching the content, like I said with you know, having to go through the campaign basically twice to get all the collectibles and all the content therein. It's really fucking cheap and lazy. And I hope it's not an omen of things to come, because I've really liked id Software's work with the Doom Reboot series. Like, I really enjoyed 2016, really enjoyed Eternal, really enjoyed its DLCs, really enjoyed the Dark Ages, like, for the most part. You know, I have a couple little things here and there, but they were small, minor problems. This DLC frustrated me a lot, with a lot of the arbitrary bullshit thrown in. And I really hope this isn't a shifting thing where they're going to move over to doing more shit like this. Because when I looked up how long it took to beat the DLC, the generic, like, AI Bing thing, because I looked up in Microsoft Edge, the generic AI thing said, like, 10 to 12 hours to beat the DLC. And I was like, okay, that's a pretty sizable DLC. Having just completed the story, it's about the same length as the Ancient Gods. It's just doubled because of all the excessive shit they locked off from you during your first run. It's annoying. Like, I see a whole bunch of annoying developer practices in this as I go through it. And I was kind of looking forward to making my commentary on the Dark Ages and having some interesting things to say about it. Now I've got a lot of interesting things to say about it, but a hell of a lot of them are negative now. But we'll see how things go when we get around to that at some point in the future. But for now, I will do more recordings of the game, going through and getting the extra shit. I don't know how many extra recordings I'll do, but I will try to go through the whole campaign and get all the collectible shit again. I'm going to do at least one more run just because the game demands you do it. But for now, I'd just like to thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys later.